Hello and welcome to Spiritual Fertility. This is your host, Alison Bucklin, and I am so beyond grateful to be here. I am recording this at the end of September, but this episode will serve as part of season 2. It has been a long while since I have published an episode of Spiritual Fertility for many reasons, which I will talk about a little bit. My intention for this episode is for flow, for safety, for moving forward, and for actually a word that has been coming into my awareness quite often lately, and that is one of courage. It takes courage to step forward when we may have been in some dark places or need it to heal. It takes courage to make changes in our lives. It takes courage to birth new creations, such as this podcast is for me. It's taken courage for me to actually be in this space now, recording this episode to put out, which will serve as the first of the second season. And it takes courage because I have retreated. And going back to the last episode that was published in May of earlier this year, I shared an oracle card, some things that I was going through, and really, once the school year ended, gave me that space to be able to retreat, to heal, go into a little bit of a hermit mode, but also to be reminded of my intention for my life for this year, to live in alignment with my values. So one of those was adventure, and I had an adventurous summer, a fun summer, a restful summer. And actually, I had a birthday. I turned 48 on August 4th, and it had been a year since I recorded any episodes of this podcast, and I'm only 2 days away as I record this now from when I birthed this podcast into the world. And my only intention for 48, level 48, is to live in alignment with my values. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about that on future episodes. My plan is to provide you with insightful guests that will give you tools and insight and motivation and inspiration, and really those stories that will give you the courage to move forward yourself with whatever that may be, moving out of darkness into light, continuing to share and express your light into the world, as we are all integral pieces of this world together. And what spirituality brings into our life is that of one of evolution, of belief, of having faith, of really understanding that we all at some point or another are going to go through this evolution of change and transformation in order to find our way back to ourselves. And so it does take courage to do that. And so putting this out into the world is definitely something that I have been retreating from a bit. You know, we all have those times and can have those times in our life where we hide, we can shrink back or retreat back because we may not want to, or may have been clouded by some internal self-talk, or need to unlearn or decondition or heal or acknowledge some of the things in our life that have brought it to us to the place we are today, and give us that courage to move forward. And part of what I want to do for today is not only to welcome you into this space and show gratitude for those of you who have been brought to spiritual fertility to listen to these words and know that you are loved and cared for and held, and that you have the courage within you to move forward in this exciting and sometimes turbulent life that we lead, but to find gratitude for the place you are in today. And so at the end of last season, I had just received a oracle card deck that helped bring me a message that I needed to hear. And so I find it really appropriate to launch off this second chapter or second season of spiritual fertility with coming back to something that has grounded me in my life, that has connected me with spirit, but also given me the messages and the guidance that has spoken through these oracle cards to me, to be able to give me that courage or that message or that insight, or maybe even that little sliver of hope or balance that I need to move forward in my own life. And so I'm bringing back the Earth Warriors Oracle deck. It's hard to see with my virtual background here. I'll kind of take it back, but the Earth Warriors Oracle deck. And I am going to draw a card and read it to you. I would invite you to listen to the words that are shared, to sit in this moment and know that, and trust that what you are meant to hear will come through to you. And it's all about learning as we evolve in this lifetime to trust our intuition. Oftentimes, our intuition can be blurred with our ego and these voices or these inklings or these feelings and spirit that we have. And so based off of our conditioning or our life and messages that we've heard and received and talked to ourselves and others about, sometimes our ego, that fear, can step in and hold us back. But when we can get quiet and listen to and discern that our intuition is here to whisper us on the right path, and sometimes that comes in the form of words that we hear or messages or synchronicities in our life. Sometimes that comes from trusted people in our life that are the messengers of relaying that information to allow us or to be open to hear that intuition and to hear and find that courage to take step forward. Just a week ago, I had a session with my energy healer and friend who's been on the show, Danielle Adams, and it had been a long while since we had connected for a session, and she relayed some messages that gave me courage and insight and guidance to step forward, not only to put this podcast season 2 into place to put out there, but some exact steps to take to help bring me forward. And just this week, I've done those. I've started my morning with some self Reiki, focusing on my upper chakras to clear my throat and my third eye and crown chakra to open myself up a bit, but also to introduce a light bathing meditation into my daily routine. I've downloaded and utilized Rebecca Campbell's light bathing or light sourcing meditation, where I've sat in meditation each morning and brought that in. So those messengers in our life are so important to lead us forward. And so I'm bringing a message through this oracle card deck for you today. And now we're going to find out what that message is that spirit has come through me to share with you. As you're waiting for this message to come through, take a deep breath in, center yourself, and picture yourself open. An open bubble that, or open channel that is allowing you. I happen to pick number 40, card number 40, High Aka. And there's some beautiful light and rainbows. There's an eagle present, an owl, some feathers, some shells. It's beautiful. And it says, Sorceress of Light. Here's that light again coming through. To be in your light and share your light. I am interested to find out what the Sorceress of Light has to share. So, High Aka, Sorceress of Light. No enemy shall defeat you, not by night, nor by day, not upon this earth. nor in the soul. You are divinely protected and empowered. You shall fulfill your destiny with joy in your heart and laughter in your belly. Play. Be in nature. Feel the freedom of happiness within you, even in this moment. These are your sacred powers, and with them you shall take every step upon your journey successfully, and nothing shall thwart your divine destiny. Ask for healing, mentoring, or assistance to support you now. This support will help you feel stronger and more empowered to deal with any challenge, and be reassured that your spirit can handle it. There is spiritual protection for you now as you follow the guidance to explore conscious movement and creative self-expression. This can stir up old energy, releasing it from you and allowing vital presence to take hold within you. You are going through an initiation in which you will need to reassert your happiness and joy anytime it slips into the darkness of doubt, fear, or anxiety. Take time to dance, sing, drum, and affirm your aliveness with joy and courage. Become spiritually bolder in the face of anything that attempts to diminish you. Have faith in the power of divine being, the supreme power. You are watched over by love. For some spiritual guidance, Aka, a goddess of Hawaiian culture, watches over the sacred dancers of the hula and the arts of chant, sorcery, and medicine. Hers is the medicine of light, sound, and the ability to penetrate the darkness of lower level consciousness, which may overwhelm our sense of spirit, joy, heart, and inspiration with defeatism, despair, boredom, and even terror. This type of onslaught from darkness comes at certain times to those seeking to embody and enact the light on earth. One of those times is when we feel strong and are making progress, but feel tested to sustain that higher level of being and awareness, even through challenge. Another time may be when we feel weaker, more vulnerable, perhaps fatigued from a challenge and not quite able to summon the quality of joy on our own. In all such moments, upon the spirit warrior's path of light, Aka assists. Aka is said to dwell in a grove of liua trees, which are sacred to her as the place where she spent her time dancing with the forest spirits. Hayaka's name translates as she who lifts darkness. Hai is from the lifting of the hip, and Aka means shadow. As patroness of sacred dancers, she reminds us that with the simple movement of our hip, we can move into dance and connect with joy. It is said that one of the first things that a shaman will ask a person who is plagued by demons, or, in our modern parlance, unable to summon the energy for their truthful fulfillment and sacred purpose in this world, is when they danced. Dancing, whether moving your body to music or symbolically in whatever makes your being light up, is a way to invoke aliveness so that we can tap into the joy that counteracts darkness. Consider what makes you feel like your soul is dancing. Make time and space for it in your life as a practice for sustaining and strengthening your spirit. Part of Aka's divine purpose is bearing the clouds, providing rain, thunder, and lightning. Her wisdom reminds us that movement in itself can be healing. When energy becomes stagnant, we can struggle. This doesn't mean we abstain from rest, but rather that we learn how to rest within the endless movement of life itself. True rest still allows energy to circulate through our being. This is why we emerge from rest feeling renewed and refreshed. Movement for circulating energy means flowing in relationship with our bodies, minds, and souls, trusting our inner rhythms. Most modern lifestyles make it difficult to live in honest relationship with the mind and body. It can be tricky to find the time and place to authentically, spontaneously honor our natural need for expression and flow, so we summon our wisdom and creativity to find a way. Aka says that we must. We must be willing to move with the storm wisdom within us, or we shall be moved by the storm wisdom around us. We will be moved by those events which startle us from our routine when we are falling asleep. Rather than resting and living, permit yourself to explore a more authentic relationship with yourself and trust that in the process, the changes that will happen, and sometimes those changes will include how and where we live and work and with whom we share our lives, will be healing. In this healing process, here is a prayer of protection and affirmation. You can say this for yourself or over another on their behalf, as I am doing now. In this case, speak the invocation as if it was them speaking the prayer. This is a way to offer spiritual service to them. However, if you offer this for another, know that you cannot force it to be received by their soul, and you must honor their free will to choose how they wish to live. So I'm inviting all of you who are choosing how you wish to live to listen to this prayer of protection and affirmation. May light dance freely within my soul, lifting my mind from oppression and freeing my heart from restraint. May I honor my true nature and live in genuine inner truth. May I rest in the changes of life, moving with grace and wisdom. May I attract endless divine love and the protection to live this gift of my life in perfect fulfillment on all levels. I am dignity. I am wild grace. I am unrestrained being. I move in authentic truth, dancing sacred joy and joyful expression upon this earth. And it says here that you will know when you have truly spoken this prayer from the heart because you feel lighter, brighter, happier, and safe. You can repeat it as often as you wish, or in this case, listen. As you do, the words will build a field of sacred light and divine protection within your consciousness. You have completed your healing process. What I love about this card that came through for me as I was reading it was the message of courage, the message of prayer, and the message of dance, and the message of authenticity, and how sometimes we can retreat, but that we need to lean into the processes of life and the messengers that come to assist us in order to bring lighter energy to ourselves and others. And I actually think, as I was reading it, I was thinking about a specific scenario because it said, make an intention to dance, to bring it into your life, and how sometimes we can shrink back and not want to express ourselves in that way because out of fear of maybe what others may think of us or of what is happening around us. But I recently started a new school year in the time that I have been on break from recording, and every day I do make the intention of bringing a speaker out to recess for my little ones. There's 2 classes that are out at recess at the same time, 2 pre-K classes, and I put the music on for anybody that wants to dance, any of the kids who want to come over. We have, and some days I find myself just dancing by myself to the kids bop music that's playing, and it just gives me joy and peace and kind of reassurance that like I'm taking that step, and kind of just gives me that validation, I guess is the right word to share. But my hope for you is that you've received this message, and that as a result of actually listening to this right now, that you come out of listening and dance and be in that space to do the things that bring you joy and play, and have the courage to move forward, because it does take that courage to dance as if no one's watching, and it takes that self-awareness and that confidence that we build in this life over time to do those steps. And it is my joy to be able to bring you this message, to be able to share with you the Spiritual Fertility podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I invite you to like, subscribe, share with those in your life who could use a message such as this, and that will give us the energy and the space to reach more of those that are called and attracted to listen and be here. And these are generally going to be you, the workers of light, the ones that are sharing their compassion and kindness with the world, who are of this place to bring about community instead of decisiveness, and bring about kindness and love as opposed to fear and separation. So thank you again for joining me. and I will talk to you soon.